Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be doing another movie review today. Today, we're going to be doing The Deliverance, I would say, the highly anticipated horror movie of somewhat of the year so far. You guys can watch this on Netflix right now. Now, again, before anyone goes into anything, I will say this: if you guys are fans of horror movies, if you guys are fans of movies that are based on true events, then I do first off highly recommend this. This is a very crazy story. Again, they had to mix things up for the actual events, and I'm going to be going into a two-part video of not only this one, but I'm also going to be doing another video of reviewing the Demon House that Zach Bagans directed slash did from Ghost Adventures, due to him buying the house where this took place in and everything of that nature. They did change a lot of things around due to the names, the people of the actual people it's happened to. But it's a very interesting film. So directed by Lee Daniels. I don't know a whole lot about him. I'm going to have to see what other movies he's done. But starring Andrea Day as Ebony Jackson, we got Glenn Close as her mother Alberta, Caleb McLean from Stranger Things as Nate, her son. We even have Monique in here who plays as a CPS worker. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this: seeing Glenn Close and Monique on the screen together was very interesting, because not only two legends, but also seeing them in a movie like this. Because Glenn Close, I've not seen her in a movie, especially a horror movie to my knowledge, and same thing with Monique, especially in a very serious role like this that has to deal with a horror movie. But I will say that this was a very crazy film, because this goes into the events of, like I said, the actual house that happened in Gary, Indiana, where Ebony is trying to raise her children. She's going through a separation. Her husband's in Iraq. She's a recovering alcoholic, still drinking. Her mother is going through chemo, and her three kids move into a house in Gary, Indiana, and they are trying just to scrape by. They're having issues with the car. They're having issues with repossession. She has CPS on her. There's a lot of things going on. And what happens in the film is she is trying to not only raise her kids to do the best that she can, but at the same time, her mother is going through chemo. She has a very bad relationship with her mother, and when her son starts speaking to an imaginary friend, she thinks that, okay, this is just whatever, and her son starts acting very weird, and she's thinking, okay, he's just acting out. But then things take a turn for the worse when not only Ebony starts drinking again and starts having blackouts a little bit, and her kids start having different bruises on them, and then her mother's wanting to get involved of different things as well, to where it just becomes more and more sinister what goes on in the house. And not only does the older brother get affected, but so does the sister, and the younger brother is pretty much the prime of this. Now, during the whole movie, you're kind of just sitting there, and some of it is the way that they did this film is very easy to kind of see what's going on. There's some of it that's not. They did it in a little bit of a different way, but not only one possession, but three different possessions in this film, to where you were wondering, okay, what exactly is going to happen? What exactly is going to be the end goal? Because there was one point where the older brother got possessed, tried to take out his little brother, and then there was another scene where the older brother laughed maniacally in the classroom at school, and then the sister had her monthly and acted like that was not a big deal in front of everyone. And then the younger child, he went to the bathroom in class, started throwing his feces at his teacher, and then ate it. So that was really, really insane that they would put something like this in the film. And then Ebony's trying to do everything she can to figure out, okay, is this psychological, or is it, what's going on? And everything that she's finding out is not leading toward a physical breakdown or a mental breakdown. That's what the doctors are thinking, or that they're doing this just because their mother is the way she is. And it was highly intense. I will say that it was highly intense. They did put things in the film that was somewhat accurate to the story of where the CPS workers saw the youngest son crawl up against the wall backwards, and that really disturbed her. Or where the mother saw her own mother get taken out by this spirit, which again did not happen. They switched a lot of things around, like her mother, her actual mother that this happened to was not white but black, which again doesn't make a difference. But again, they did put a lot of things in here, I think, to mix current standards within the world, and also they wanted to try to make it, I would say, as accurate as possible, but at the same time protect ones that this happened to, and also at the same time be able to show things that happened in this film, because Ebony comes across another character who is a somewhat of an exorcist, but at the same time she tells her about a thing that happened with the family that lived in there before her family did, and that whole family got wiped out. And then her family comes in, and one of the boys that lived there that did pass away is who her son's talking to. And when she's saying this, that's when she finds her mother later on gone. She's trying to grieve for that. Her kids get taken away from her, and then it's up to her to go to this exorcist and try to talk to her and find a way to save her children. And she goes from, I will say this, I think Andrade did an amazing job with this role to empower not only the love of a parent, but love of a of a mother to protect her children, how far she's willing to go. Because when she gets her youngest son out to perform the exorcism in the house, she goes to the house and they're going through the exorcism, and this thing morphs into her mother in like in a demonic form, and then goes after the exorcist and goes after her, and then transforms into her, like the demonic version of Ebony, and she's having to fight this thing in her child's body, and then also use the power of believing in God and having to have the power to fight off this evil entity and save her child. Now, by the very end of the film, she's able to do so. And when she does this, she does lose her kids, but she's able to get it back. And what's crazy is her and the CPS worker do not see eye to eye by this. But then by the very end of the film, after everything that the CPS worker saw, she believes her. She's like, oh, like there's a line in this movie that made me laugh, because she goes to the doctor, the CPS worker does, and she tells him, hey, I saw a child going up crawl up backwards on the wall. What damn button do you press for that? Which is true. And the way they did this was insane. The effects was crazy. Again, this was a movie, so they had to use a lot of more anticipation. Can't talk right now, guys. But to be able to show what occurred, to make the movie, I guess, more entertainment. Now, for those of you that do not know, there was supposed to be a movie. It did show who this happened to. The weird thing is that this movie was supposed to possibly happen years ago, in the early teens of 2000. I think the reason why I got put on the back burner was because of Zach Bagans. When he heard about the story, he bought the house, he did the investigation. There were some other issues involved, which I'm going to go into the other video on. But I will highly recommend this movie. I'm going to say watch the Demon House that Zach Bagans produced and directed and starred in for the investigation, then watch this film. That is one I'm heavily going to emphasize on, because this movie does well in the story aspect for a Hollywood aspect, but I think they were trying to get this movie into theaters, and I don't think it did that. It just went straight to Netflix. It's not a bad film. It truly is not a bad film. I think they did very well with this. I actually enjoyed this more than the Conjuring movie. I think the reason why is because I know more about this story, and it was more closely investigated, in my opinion. So I will definitely say, for anyone that is a horror fan, if you like movies that are based on true events, definitely check this movie out. I just looked more into Lee Daniels as a director, and this is what I honestly did not know. So there's been 2 to 3 things now that I've seen that this man has directed, and it's amazing to me. So he directed Precious. He also directed Empire and a few other movies. So a lot of those movies and TV shows he's done, I've seen. I would not mind him doing another horror movie. I'm gonna be honest. I would not mind seeing him do another horror movie. I think he did a very good job with this. With the story, I think he did very good with the drama aspect of what happens in real life drama, but at the same time that happens in the paranormal world. And I think they did a very good job at portraying and combining both. And again, I think the cast did a very wonderful job with portraying the story of what happened to these people. And at the end of the day, guys, whether you believe the story or not, it happened. It's for you to interpret if it was a bunch of bogus or if it actually happened. But let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments down below. If you guys are new to the channel, say about subscribing, leave a big fat like on the video if you guys enjoyed. And I'll be seeing you guys as always on the very next one.